How we doing, everybody? Dommy here for Who-Bangin Sports Talk, back with another college basketball tournament breakdown. This one's going to be for the SWAC, starting on Tuesday, March 11th, finishing up on Saturday, March 15th. This tournament is being led by Southern. They're the clear favorite at plus 165 to win it all. Jackson State, number two, at plus 370. We got Texas Southern at plus 600. Fourth betting option is tied Bethune Cookman and Alabama State at plus 650. Alcorn State, Florida A&M are 6 and 7. Florida A&M, a tricky team, plus 1800. And then rounding out the 10-team tournament is Grambling State, Alabama A&M, and Prairie View A&M. To end it, at Alabama A&M is plus 30,000 to win. Prairie View is plus 18,000 to win. Keep that in mind. Yes, the clear favorite is Southern. On paper, they're the only top 250 team from the conference, and that's according to Ken Palm and Torvik both. They're also the only team that has a record higher than one game above 500. They went 15-3 in league play after starting the season 5-8, but losing to some better programs, some bigger schools than Southern is, and that's Iowa, Ole Miss, USC, Nebraska. So no shame in losing to those teams. They did beat a Louisiana Tech and a Tulsa team, so they did show some good ball play in those games. In terms of the conference only metrics, and that's what you really you should be concentrating on in tournaments. The non-conference games, doesn't really come into play now. Concentrate on how they did against each other, these teams. The Jags of Southern are number one in defensive efficiency, number one in turnover percentage, 3-point percentage on offense. So they shoot the 3-point well in conference. They're also number one in defensive rebounding and in free throw rate. This conference, like I said, is not considered a great conference. They're a sloppy conference. They're known to have they have a lot of turnovers compared to the D1 average. But the good thing about Southern is they're the team that forces a lot of turnovers. So, like I said, they are number one in that turnover percentage, and that could come into play. Jackson State now the number two betting team. They can say they were plus 350. They are ranked third in 2-point and 3-point percentage, so they do have some good offensive numbers. They were number one in adjusted offensive efficiency, so that they do have some good offensive power, and that's why they're the clear second choice. The team I like in this one is Florida A&M. I've taken this team a lot this year. They did start out at 0-3, and then they won 9 out of their next 10. They played really well, but then they ended the season losing 3 out of 4. I don't know what happened to them. They kind of fell off a little bit, Florida A&M. I don't know if they got tired. I don't know if there was any injuries. I didn't look into it that much yet, but I like Florida A&M at 18-1 to maybe at least maybe play in the game. I don't think they can win it, but let's see if they get there. We might get a price on them if they do get to that point. I like Florida A&M. That's the team I'm going to keep my eye on in this one. Talk about a couple other teams, and then we'll just go over some betting trends for this conference. The other team is Alcorn State. The Braves are fifth in both offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency, adjusted offense and defensive efficiency. They were also the best offensive rebounding team in the conference. That always gives me rating a team's a little bit high when I see that offensive rebounding number being good, because we all know free throws and second chance opportunities could be the difference in a lot of games. Alcorn State did beat Bethune Cookman, and they let's see, the Braves lost their only game against Southern and lost twice to Jackson State. Florida A&M beat Jackson State twice and might get them in the quarterfinals, but Alcorn State did beat Cookman and might get them again like they did last year in the quarterfinals, and which they won. So they're a little bit of a tricky team too, but again, I like my Florida A&M as maybe a spot to get an upset here. Just a couple little things that went on in this conference and why Southern is the rightful favorite. The Texas Southern and Alabama State could be the 4-5 matchup. Now we're going to see who's going to win going into the semifinals. But Alabama State did beat Southern twice during the regular season, but Southern beat Texas Southern twice during the regular season. So a lot of interchanging things with these teams. But Florida A&M, for me, at 18-1, they is really has a shot at this, and that's why I keep on going back to them. They led the conference in effective field goal efficiency. Their defense efficiency numbers were not as good as they could be. That's because, when they look at those numbers and they calculate the metrics, forcing turnovers is a big part of that defensive efficiency number, and that's one thing Florida A&M does not do well is forcing the turnovers. They don't give up a lot of turnovers, but they don't force many, and I think that might have hurt their defensive numbers. Texas Southern, as the 8th seed, won this conference 2 years ago, so there has been long shots winning this tournament, and who knows if we can get one this year? Not a bad price, plus 1,800. Let's just go over a couple little betting trends before we get out of here. The SWAC tournament has been real chalk over the last 8 years, though. Favorites of 3 points or less. 25, 12, and 2 ATS, 32 and 7 straight up. That ATS is a almost 68% run. Now, the semifinals in the SWAC, they got a 16 and 3 straight up record, 13, 5 and 1 ATS, 72% um, record since 2014. So again, favorites have won the semifinal games. Not even they don't even have listed like they do with the other trend where it's 3 points or less at a 67% run. This in the semifinals, just the favorite outright has won ATS 72% since 2014. A pretty good sample size. Another thing that's interesting about the title game and why there could be a upset in this tournament, and keep this one in mind, guys. Favorites in the SWAC title game are 2 and 10 ATS, 17% skid, and have lost outright the last 4 of 5 championship games. So in that championship game, the last 12 games, only 2 favorites won that championship game. Again, that helps for if you want looking for a long shot. My long shot's going to be Florida A&M. I might take I might take a little something on. I'd like to try to use 2 teams in different ways in some of these conference tournaments. I guess the other one I would go with that would have to be the number 2 choice Jackson State at plus 370. I don't really like Southern to win this. I think they could be beat, and I think Jackson State, even at plus 370, not wrong with getting a little over 3-1 for your money, almost 4-1 for your money. That's for sure. We'll never complain about that. But Florida A&M at 18-1. Would love to see that. So I'm going to go with Florida A&M as my long shot pick for the SWAC. But that's what we're going to do in this tournament. Like I said, starts Wednesday, completes on Saturday. And we'll have some more conference tournament breakdowns as we go along. There's a lot of them coming up this week. We'll try to hit most of them. Don't know if I'll get to every single one, but we definitely will get the top 5 power ones for sure. And, like I said, I might not get to every conference tournament, but I'll try my best to get to most of them. But until then, this is Dommy Gun Ricci for Who-Bangin Sports Talk. Stay tuned. Give us a like and a subscribe. Retweet our plays if you see them. We've been putting them out every day. We've been on a roll, so we're going to continue doing what we do. And until then, Dommy Gun Ricci, like I said, for Who-Bangin Sports Talk. Thanks for listening.